well as a personal visit, as we see Vance traveling along with his wife, Usha Vance, 3 young children. And they are going to multiple cities on their 4-day visit. They will be going to Jaipur. Today they were at Akshardham. And the key takeaway from this meeting is a comprehensive bilateral talk, and that will be focusing not only on the trade agreement on which India has been working since last couple of weeks, Preeti, but strengthening the overall strategic partnership with United States of America. That also includes the defense ties, that also includes how India and America intend to increase investments and trade. They also want to give a strong message amid this tariff war where US and China are head-on the tariff issue, that India is working, negotiating along with the United States of America in this tariff agreement and the trade agreement. And this is going to be an important and a potential meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US Vice President J.D. Vance, which is not only a purely official meeting, but a meeting where J.D. Vance, along with his family, wants to witness the cultural heritage of the country.
You know, it's very interesting because this is a personal visit, but there are official takeaways because there is a bilateral in progress right now as we speak. And all of that, Shivani, is taking place at the Prime Minister's residence. Usually after a bilateral, there is a joint statement that is issued. I wonder if that's going to happen at the Prime Minister's residence, because other bilaterals we've seen have taken place maybe at the Hyderabad house, and there's a more official setting. So there is a protocol in motion. There's a lot of, new things in this current visit of the Vice President. Are we expecting a joint statement at all?
Certainly, Preeti, there are chances that MEA will be issuing a statement because, right before this meeting that is going on, there was a statement from the MEA on this official bilateral meeting. And Randhir Jaiswal, the spokesperson of the MEA, he had said that this is an important, comprehensive bilateral dialogue, and it will include a number of issues and not only the trade and tariff issue. That means this is an official meeting. The MEA has been giving out statements on this meeting, and we expect that after this meeting is done, there will be a statement that will be issued by the MEA. And the point that you raised, that this particular meeting is happening at the residence, maybe the possibility, one of the reasons can be that because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not only hosting the Vice President but also the family. So that's why this meeting is happening in this setup, because he wants to host the young children. Because you remember when Prime Minister had met J.D. Vance in United States of America, he had taken toys and gifts for these young children. And once they are in India, and first time after taking over as the second lady, Usha Vance, is in India, she is being hosted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at his residence. So this might be the reason why this bilateral is taking place at the official residence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
All right. So one of the reasons, Shivani, that you say is, moving away from possible protocol, the bilateral taking place at the Prime Minister's residence, because, this is also a personal visit. And then there is a dinner which is being hosted by the Prime Minister for the Vance family. And adorable pictures came in from the Akshardham, or even, when the Vances, the Vice President touched down with his family coming in, adorable, pictures of the little children there. And so it seems, Shivani, the kids are also invited for dinner this evening, and possibly we'll see some pictures coming out, from there. But the Vances then fly off to Jaipur. So what's the itinerary looking like?
Preeti, this is a 4-day visit, the schedule of which is after today's meeting. Vances will be flying to Jaipur. They will be witnessing the majestic palaces of Jaipur, another important stop in their schedule as they are visiting India. And tomorrow there will be an address by United States Vice President J.D. Vance at Jaipur at around 3 in the Rajasthan International Center. And after that, they will be heading towards Agra. That happens to be one of the favorite stop for the dignitaries who've been coming to India. And that iconic bench where on the backdrop of Taj Mahal pictures get clicked. So this is a busy but very selectively chosen destinations by US Vice President J.D. Vance, as his wife is from the Indian origin, Indian ancestry. She wants to witness the beauty, the majestic palaces of Jaipur, Rajasthan. They want to see the rich cultural heritage of the country, and not alone, but with their children. And remember, today after visiting the Akshardham temple, the Swami Narayan temple, a note of thanks has also come from J.D. Vance, where he says that especially the children really enjoyed this beautiful art of temple, where they witness those crafts on the walls and the beautiful architecture of this temple. They thanked the Swami Narayan Temple Trust for creating such a beautiful temple in India. They thanked the Indian government for creating this beautiful temple in India. And he also specifically mentioned that it was enjoyed by all of us, but specifically most by the three children who were seen clad in Indian ethnic attire. Preeti.
Okay, you're right there. You know, the very sweet pictures coming in from the Akshardham temple, and word has it that the entire Vance family is right now at the Prime Minister's residence. A quick bilateral, and then, of course, there's a dinner that is hosted by the Prime Minister himself. And possibly that's why we see a bit of breakaway of a bilateral protocol, because we've usually seen them happen at other official places like the Hyderabad House. Shivani, do stay on with me. I'm going to come right back because, you know, of course, all of this is the personal aspect of the meeting, but there is an official takeaway in all of this, viewers, and that comes in from and what India would be keenly watching and diplomatically approaching the Vice President is trade. In what has been a week of high-level diplomacy, US Vice President J.D. Vance visits India amidst growing strategic ties, while Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman leads bilateral talks with the US with reciprocal tariff trickling down. Both nations are pushing for a breakthrough in their ambitious $500 billion trade pact. Here's more in our next report, and we'll be back with our set of reporters to give you a ringside view on what to expect on this in this personal yet official visit.
The arrival of J.D. Vance in India on Monday morning kicks off a week of unprecedented pace in India-US trade talks. The US Vice President, a first-time visitor to the country of his wife's origin, has an itinerary packed with official meetings and personal time in Delhi, Agra and Jaipur. As the clock ticks on the 90-day extension in Trump's reciprocal tariffs, Vance will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, with the two expected to review progress made on the bilateral agenda outlined in February when Prime Minister Modi met President Donald Trump in Washington. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is on a 5-day trip to the US. Though the minister is in the US for the spring meetings of the IMF, the World Bank and other multilateral engagements, bilateral talks with the US for a trade deal tops her agenda.
We are one of the countries which actively engaged with the new administration in the United States of America to see how best we can get a bilateral trade agreement done. Equally, the priority that we gave to engage with the government here is more than obviously seen with Prime Minister himself visiting the United States in February. You've had the Commerce and Trade Minister come. I've come here because I also have the IMF and World Bank meeting, but I'm scheduled to meet the Treasury Secretary, my counterpart here. So the keenness with which we are engaging with the US administration, even as I talk, I think the Vice President of the United States of America is in India. He will be engaging with the Prime Minister hopefully this evening or tomorrow.
There have been several top-level India-US engagements in the past 3 months, beginning with the Prime Minister's visit to the US in second week of February. This was followed by the Commerce Minister visiting US and then a reciprocal visit by the US Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, on 16th of March. A US trade delegation led by Assistant USTR Brendan Lynch was in India for 5 days in March. The latest are the visits of Finance Minister Sitharaman to the US and Vice President J.D. Vance to India. According to reports, India's chief negotiator for the deal, Rajesh Agarwal, will make a 3-day trip to the United States starting Wednesday. Meanwhile, there are reports that India and the US have finalized the terms of reference for the trade deal. This covers 19 chapters including tariffs, goods, non-tariff barriers, customs, facilitation, rules of origin, and regulatory issues. The team led by Rajesh Agarwal will iron out differences on certain issues before formally launching negotiations for the proposed Indo-US Trade Pact.
The long and short of engaging with the US is not just for this reciprocal tariff-related matter, but in the interest of keeping an agreement in mind and in the interest of our largest trading partner with whom we need to have an agreement, we are working in order that by fall this year, we should at least have the first phase of the agreement signed.
The US remained India's largest trading partner for the 4th straight year, according to trade figures released on 15th of April. The two countries have agreed on trade hitting $500 billion in the next 5 years. The enhanced dialogue between India and US also comes at a time when trade and diplomatic tensions between China and the US have ratcheted to an all-time high. Not only do the bilateral talks focus on manufacturing opportunities in India, but also the status of India as an important strategic ally in combating the rising influence of China in the Indo-Pacific region. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
All right, along with Shivani Sharma, who's joining us right outside the Prime Minister's residence where this bilateral is taking place, I'm joined right now by Karishma Asudani. She's a Business Today TV correspondent. She's joining us live. Karishma, what's on the table where trade is concerned, especially after the tariffs? There might be a pause on them for 19 days. This is the first in-person meeting. What is India expecting?
Pretty well, the Indian government has been reiterating of the fact that we have had a first mover advantage. And I think J.D. Vance's visit kind of reaffirms that faith we have had with the US government, our relationship with US. This firms up our plan of signing a BTA early than what it's expected to be. And likely if that happens, then we may get relief beyond 90 days, which is 3 months, ideally, that the President of the United States of America has given to countries across. Well, his visit symbolizes and certifies the fact that both the governments are looking to work together, and his meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi tonight could be way more important because of the impending issues that have been lying. In fact, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also on her visit to Washington, D.C., shared, of course, preceding the IMF meetings, has shared that India and USA are working to have mutual consensus on BTA. And I think owing to the fact that we have shared a good relationship with them, it's going to economically benefit us.
All right, we're going to continue to get more from our reporters. Appreciate you joining us, Karishma. We're going to quickly shift focus for a brief while and get back to the news coming in of that bilateral that is taking place at the Prime Minister's residence, but also getting you up to speed with the latest coming in from Karnataka and what has been a sensational and chilling case from Karnataka. Former Director General of Police Om Prakash has been murdered, allegedly by his own wife. The brutal crime took place at their Bengaluru residence while the retired top cop was having lunch. Here's more.
Former Karnataka DGP Om Prakash is stabbed to death inside his home in Bengaluru. The police on Monday arrested his wife Pallavi and their daughter Kruti for questioning. According to sources, the retired police officer was seated for lunch when Pallavi served him 2 types of fish. Moments later, a fight allegedly broke out. Wife Pallavi threw chili powder into his eyes before allegedly stabbing him multiple times in the neck and head. The DGP's body was found lying in a pool of blood.